Hey, call me Shape. And today I'm reacting to a video titled 35,000 Women Laid Off and AI is to blame. Let's get right into it.
I don't know if you guys are paying attention, but something is happening with our workforce. Amazon just announced that they will be cutting 14,000 jobs due to new enhancements that has to do with AI. UPS has announced that they've reduced their workforce by 48,000 employees from prior year. Also, rumor has it that Target will be laying off another 800 employees. Now, if you saw my previous TikTok, you see that they've already laid off quite a bit. To add to this, there's a government shutdown, and some government employees have not been paid since October 1st. That wasn't enough. We are also about to experience people losing their SNAP and EBT benefits. A lot of these employees are having to depend on their savings, their 401k, and certainly not the government. They can't even depend on the government to have their back. And I feel that this should be a major wake-up call for us all. Comment and let me know your thoughts.
The day of reckoning is upon us, okay? And it looks like it's going to hit women the hardest, okay? AI is replacing a lot of low-level jobs that women have, okay? Amazon, okay? UPS, okay? Target, cashiers. You're all getting replaced by AI. The government's been shut down since October 1st. It's November 1st. Some people haven't got a paycheck since October 1st. Think about that. Okay, a lot of women work in the government. Now, I want to say this because I think it's going to come down to one major thing. Where is your husband? Okay, if you don't got a husband, you in trouble. Okay, AI is coming for you. Now, this lady's talking about how she witnessed a lot of women getting fired from her job as well. Take a look.
I honestly don't know if I'm even safe in my job since they've informed us, oh, we're not letting anyone go. Everyone's going to be safe. And I wake up or I clock in this morning and this insane news. It was the first thing I noticed was my manager saying how grateful she was to work with this company and how amazing we are and how lucky she was. I worked with this woman for 3 years, over 3 years, and I'm shocked. And our CEO of the company basically confirmed it's because of AI. AI is taking over. There's no regulation to this. No one's doing anything about it. This company that I work for is all about humanity and respecting our value, like everyone's values, and all about, workers deserve, the best, and, all about respect. And this just proved that's all wrong. It was all a facade.
It was all a facade, right? Feminism has taught women to climb the ladder. They spend their useful years, their most valuable years climbing the ladder, just to realize it's been leaning against the wrong wall. Just to realize they really should have been focusing on a man, a family, and now something that's completely unexpected. They didn't prepare you for this. They didn't let you know that AI may take your job in college. You had no idea. And look what's happening now. The workforce is just a completely different place. And I'm dropping things because I'm just thinking to myself, wow, the world is falling apart. The world is falling apart. Now, take this lady's advice really seriously. And this came out a few months ago. Take a look.
Even if you think AI is not going to take your job anytime soon, assume it will. Because one thing's for certain and two things for sure, companies lie. They lied about job security, they lied about loyalty, they lied about pension. If you're sitting pretty thinking your job is safe, wake up. Because I remember when the creators were saying a year ago that, oh, AI is not coming for creative jobs. AI is not coming for photographers and filmmakers. And guess what? A couple years down the line, here we are. Even if your job does stay, it's probably going to be underpaid, over-surveilled, and completely reconstructed so that you don't even recognize it anymore. So stop being loyal to the system and start being loyal to you. Upskill, learn something, get into it now before you're forced to.
See, and that's why I don't like this, that even though she has a right conclusion, she has a wrong prescription. The idea, go learn something, find this, go find that. No, go work with a man, okay? Because a lot of women think in order for them to be free, they need a fortune. In order for them to have peace, they need possession. And that if they want happiness, it's just a few dollars away. But that's the illusion. The real value is cooperating and working with a man. But y'all don't want to submit to that. Okay, y'all don't want to submit to that. Y'all rather dedicate your life to a job that will replace you for AI, that won't be there for you if you're sick, that won't be there for you if you're ill. Just think about it. It just shows you how family should have really been the nucleus of our society, and now people are thinking that themselves are the nucleus of society. They're the center, right? They're the primary unit. Anyway, here's another video I thought was interesting as well. Take a look.
Recently, there have been layoffs, and I mean mass layoffs. This is for Amazon. You have Chegg, a lot of other places that are saying that they are laying off a large majority of their workforce because of AI. And I know that this is daunting. I know that it is scary because it seems as though iRobot has come to life. However, I'd like to remind you of the Nobel Prize winner's speech, who aided in being able to create AI. And one thing that he says is that it simulates human reasoning or intuition as opposed to human reasoning, which means that it really can't think for itself. It only thinks as good or as well as the programmer allows for it to be able to think.
But here's the problem with that. A lot of women can't really think for themselves either, respectfully, right? They can only think the way they've been indoctrinated to think. Just think about that. So this idea that AI was not sophisticated enough, it's more than sophisticated enough to take your job. Don't be crazy now. It's more than sophisticated enough to take your job. And if you don't believe me, take a look at this.
Accountants will be replaced by AI, so do not waste your time trying to be an accountant. This is the most common comment or DM that I receive on LinkedIn under one of my posts that has over 2+ million views. Majority of people who leave these type of comments think that you have to be really good in math to be an accountant, and all accountants do is play with numbers and Excel all day. That's why I don't take them seriously, because I'm like, you have no idea what accountants actually do. There's still a lot of human interaction that's still needed when it comes to accounting, to analyze complex data, financial planning, consulting. So replacing all of that with AI is probably not going to happen. There are a lot of mundane tasks that AI can take over, but there's still strategy, advisory roles that AI just cannot take over. You still need a human interaction to audit, to do forensic accounting. So there's still more to accounting than just what people think accountants actually do. When there are $1 million on the line, would you let ChatGPT represent you in court? I don't think so. So the same applies for accounting. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. There's already a shortage of accountants. So if you don't want to choose accounting because you think it's going to be taken over by AI, it's just more for us.
So what she's really saying is they won't need as much fluff in accounting anymore, right? Because a lot of accounting stuff is playing with numbers in Excel, right? And AI could do that. Right now, for the stuff that you need for tax planning, estate planning, that type of financial planning, okay, you might want a person involved with that, but you no longer need these large accounting firms. And I used to think to myself, accounting was a pretty good degree to graduate from, right? It was probably one of the more safest business degrees, right? Because accounting and finance, those two things, you get a guarantee a high-paying job right out of college. I went to college for marketing. Okay, it wasn't a great job to get it wasn't a great degree to get a good job for, but it's perfect for what I'm doing now. It's perfect for me to plan and run a business, be the CEO. It's perfect for that. But again, you only need one CEO. Okay, you don't need many of those. Anyway, moving forward. Okay, we're getting past this. Now, what's the solution? AI's taking girls' jobs, and some women think, you know what? Maybe the solution is dating other women, okay? Maybe forget about dating men. Let's team up with women and date each other. Well, you might want to rethink that. Take a look at this.
I didn't know that domestic violence in lesbian relationships was that bad until I literally walked in on my friend getting beat up by a stud, and I had to give that bitch work. I'm sorry. And studs usually cannot fight. I'm sorry. They usually can't. I'm 5'10". She was about 5'2", 140 pounds. I RKO'd her. If you don't know what that is, look it up. I didn't know that domestic...
She RKO'd her. Jesus Christ. Now, she's pretty tall, I'm assuming. She's very attractive. Shout out to Zoe, okay? I know that's not your real hair, girl, but the freckles, your face structure, I'm just... Something about this. I'm feeling this, okay? And it's not for the fact that she put work on another girl, right? But... it's interesting because she complains about the female on female violence, and then she engages in that by putting hands on another female. Okay, it's like, women, y'all can't just help each other anyway. You know what I'm saying? It's still female on female violence. Anyway, if you think that white men are the solution, okay, so maybe women were the solution. I don't know. Okay, maybe not. What about white men? Are white men the solution? Well, take a look at this.
I was just watching a video with Michelle Obama doing an interview where she was talking about how a lot of Black kids have never had the opportunity to be in a relationship before they go to college, and how that's not healthy. And it's because in these white environments, you don't really have the experience to have that mutual liking. When I tell you I've never reposted a video so fast. Not only were my parents the type of parents who were saying you're not allowed to date till you're 16 and like very, very strict about it, but also I grew up in a white environment and I felt like there was not a lot of people who liked me. Like, it's sad, but it's true. And so now I've still never had a boyfriend and never kind of had that stage of even talking or like being in that mutual like. And not only is it, I get the male attention now and I kind of have the opportunity to experience that, but my brain is so configured to like those anxieties with a person not liking me that I genuinely don't believe that another person could like me, or I think there's some ulterior motive, or it's just like a very, it's a subtle thing that sticks in my mind because of how I was raised. So now, trying to put myself out there and go on dates, I have a lot of anxiety when it comes to dating and putting myself out there in that environment. And it's something I'm actively trying to work on, but I have not still pushed myself to go on a date. So I am also making this video because I would love to document that journey and be one of the TikTokers who gets to share their experience on dates and things like that. But
oh my God, she wants to be the average chick on TikTok talking about dates and things that she's doing, not realizing it's going to ruin her opportunity to find a husband or to date someone seriously, because they could just look at your TikTok and say, wow, you know, you were a horrible dater, or you did this or you did that. But anyways, besides the point, I want to point out the fact that she said she lived in a predominantly white environment and no one ever truly liked her. I want you guys to sit with that. I want you to sit with that. This is a Black girl who's outside of the hood. She grew up in a predominantly white environment, so it's not based on her culture, okay? She wasn't even chosen in the same culture as white people by white people. And look, I've seen this before, respectfully. I'm not trying to knock other races or whatever, and I'm not even trying to knock white people. The truth of the matter is, they prefer their own. And I'm not mad at them for that, okay? But I see a lot of Black women get online talking about, oh yeah, we're gonna dump Black men and go after white men. And white men, they make it seem like white men are the solution. And me, I used to live in Jersey City, which is predominantly the hood, right? A Black neighborhood, I guess, if you will. And then I moved to Central Jersey. And in Central Jersey, like Middlesex County, these are predominantly white small towns, small suburbs. And what I've realized from living in a small suburb, being one of the few Black people there, is that they still don't look at you as part of them. I mean, they might accept you. They might think, okay, it's cool, blah, blah, but they still prefer their own. Their parents want to see them date their own. You are an outsider, okay? But if you're grown up in the hood, you think that, you know, white people represents rich and wealthy, and Black people means poor. So if you want to date up, you got to date white. Not knowing that white men generally don't find Black women attractive. They just don't, okay? They're not like some exotic thing to white men for the most part. I'm just saying that because I just always hear Black women make it seem like white men are the solution, and I knew they never grew up on these predominantly white areas. It's very different. That girl never had a serious relationship, and she's grown, and now she has arrested development. Anyway, if you think the solution is, well, you know what? I'm going to just let her say it, and then we're going to get to it. Hey, listen up, Safe Squad. Are you tired of being ignored by women? Well, download my free ebook, Be Attractive and Shut Up. It's going to teach you how to master attraction, build unshakable confidence, and win with women without words. Because chances are you're not ugly, you just talk too damn much. So download my free ebook, Be Attractive and Shut Up, and take control of your dating life right now. Now let's get right back to the content.
My career hot take is that people that are still posting career content in 2025, frauds. And the frauds aren't even the people that are telling you to lie on your resume. The frauds are the people that are trying to convince you that you and your resume are the reason why you don't have a job right now. Most of the people that are giving out this career advice have never even been recruiters or hiring managers. And they for damn sure have not been in the job market since, I would say, about COVID, when they all started popping up. So they're so far removed that a lot of their advice to me kind of sounds like boomer advice. Like when they come up to you and they're just like, oh, if you want a new job, you just go to the building you want to work in. You have to speak to the CEO and shake their hand. That's how they sound to me. If there is a career coach that you are trying to give your money to, if they are trying to convince you about anything other than the job market right now is really just a game of chance, they are trying to steal from you. A free piece of advice from someone who currently works in HR. I've done recruitment. I've done a lot of other things within HR. You have got to be an opportunistic job seeker. So what does that look like? For me, when y'all was on here talking about, oh, LinkedIn optimization, you need to optimize your LinkedIn. You need to be on LinkedIn. Be on LinkedIn. You need to be chatting on LinkedIn and posting stuff on LinkedIn. What was I doing? I was on Facebook. Where the rest of y'all were not. Getting myself a job. My current job, I found it on Facebook. I tell people that all the time. Is that going to work now that I put this video out? No clue. But I know when y'all start doing that again, I'm going to go back to LinkedIn. That's just how it works. When everyone's going right, you go left. When everyone goes left, you go right. That's how it works.
When everyone goes left, you go right. When everyone goes right, you go left. What I was going to say is if you think that another job is a solution, she says that the job market's weak. You got to be an opportunistic employee, right? You got to be looking and searching for a job. You got to be trying things that are unconventional. And to me, the fact that every woman thinks a solution to these job issues, the job crisis, the recession is just another job is the problem. It's not another job. It's your life setup. It is your life setup. Too many people don't understand the paradox of prosperity, right? Because the truth of the matter is, yeah, we think we want independence. Women think they want independence. What they really want is independence from responsibility, okay? And if you really want independence from responsibility, the way to do that is to find someone else to take on the responsibility. I'm not saying a man could be the full provider for you. I'm not saying that because, you know, the reality of it is a lot of people think they need to make more money. The truth of the matter is they need to live below their means. That's what real freedom is. Real freedom is living below your means and not feeling deprived, okay? Because oftentimes, again, people think that in order for you to be happy, you need to be consuming things. You need to buy possessions. You need to have stuff. And that's why most people are not rich. They're just well decorated, okay? They just have nice trinkets on them, okay? They just have nice stuff, okay? The truth of the matter is, to be wealthy, to have, honestly, have money, is really to have time, okay? Because all you're doing when you operate the way most modern women operate, they're operating in such a way where they're not really rich. They're just insecure with a Rolex. Okay, they're just insecure in a Benz. That's all it is. They're trying to keep up with the Joneses, right? You really don't want to keep up with the Joneses because the Joneses are not happy either. They're miserable too. They're living paycheck to paycheck too. Find somebody you can work with. That to me is the real solution. Okay? Now, here's another woman offering her solution. Her thing's all right. Don't just date a man, date multiple men. Okay, that's obviously the solution in her mind. I don't agree, but take a look.
Men should be dating more than one man at a time, and here's why. I had matched with this guy on Hinge, and I gave him my number. He seemed, cool, attractive, like he had his head on straight based on his profile. One day, I was laying down, I had taken a nap, and my phone rang, and it was a FaceTime, and it was a number I didn't recognize, and I was just like, I ignore FaceTimes if I don't know who's calling. And then I get a message on Hinge, and the Hinge message was like, I just tried to call you. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, I just tried to FaceTime you. I was like, you just straight tried to FaceTime me? Like without calling or without texting me and saying, hey, this is so-and-so from Hinge. Because why would I know it's you? Like, I wouldn't make that assumption that it's you, right? And I said, well, I'm available. You can call me back if you want. So he called me back and he was like, why didn't you know it was me? I said, because I never talked to you before. Like, we never talked before, so why would I know it's you? He said, well, how many men are you entertaining? I said, what difference does that make? He said, because I only want to talk to women who are not actively talking to anyone else. I said, well, that's never going to be me because I'm always going to be talking to somebody else. I'm always going to be talking to somebody else. And I was like, I haven't even met you. Why would I just not? Why are you assuming that I'm just sitting around waiting on your motherfucking ass? Who are you? You are literally a nobody. I could not believe it. After I said, well, that'll never be me, I just said, have a nice day. And I hung up the phone. And then when I met my husband,
We had matched on the 7th of the month. The 29th of the month is when we met in person. And on the 1st, he had already bought my engagement ring. He was like, oh yeah, no, like, I'm assuming that you're seeing other people or that other people are interested in you. And I'm so interested in you, I'm taking you off the market now. Okay? Because he said, I'm never going to meet another woman like you. So if I don't snatch you up now, then I might lose my chances. I say all that to say,
honestly, I don't know if she's telling the truth. Some people, I've been making videos reacting to stuff like this, and some people say she's lying. I don't know. I don't know her personally. I don't know her husband. But I will say this. 50% of marriages end in divorce for a reason. And my personal belief is because the majority of men that are marrying women are not alpha. They're not the actual men that women would want. So women will marry you for the wedding, for the ring, to get on TikTok and brag to other women that they're married. For the look, for the status. But even if they don't really like you. Because even in this video, she never described, like, the video's almost over. I'm not going to play the rest of it. She never described her husband other than the fact that he really wanted her and wanted to take her off the market. That's it. We never got the fact that, like, even she's making a video. Think about it. She's married and she's making a video about dating multiple men. Right? Why are you making a video like this? If you're happily married, what point are you trying to prove? Right? Other than your husband had to compete for you? Does he really seem like he was a prize? It seems like she was a prize. And if she is a prize, that means she's dating down. If she's dating down, trust me, this may end in divorce in a couple years. I've been seeing it a lot lately too. Even in my own personal life, I've been meeting a lot of women that are marrying men you would not expect them to marry. And I can only conclude from all the information I see that they don't really want them. They just want the wedding. They want the feeling. They feel like time is running out. So they're panic marrying. They're marrying out of panic. And they can't get the guy they really wanted. Because even in her description, he bought the ring prior to even knowing her. He just wanted to, bought their engagement ring prior to all that. Just didn't even really know her. He just thought to himself, I don't want to compete. Does that sound like a guy that has a lot of options? Do women like dating men that don't have that many options? Who seems like the man in the relationship? So again, if you want to take her masculine advice and get a submissive husband that's waiting on you by hand and feet, then go her route. But the nose ring should tell you she's a feminist. The cheeky, chubby cheeks should tell you she's a feminist. The shaved head should teach you that she's a feminist. The fact that she's making the videos about dating multiple men and trying to tell women to pretty much sleep around, and she hung up on a guy that FaceTimed her because she's like, oh yeah, I'm always going to be dating multiple men. The story is more about the guy that she hung up on than her husband. Guys, we're cooked. We're cooked. As a man, I could only say to other men, it makes the most sense to stay single. It makes the most sense. It makes the most sense to stay single, make other women compete for your attention, win you over, because that's going to be the most feminine and woman that you're going to desire. That's the most desirable. And she's going to be the most traditional woman. Traditional women competed for men. Modern women let men compete for them. And this is why we have a low replacement rate. We have a high divorce rate. 80% of divorces are filed by women, and 50% of marriages end up in divorce. All these statistics has to do with modern women. You have to understand that. If her husband showed me this video and said, man, I got a great wife, don't I? I'm like, yeah, a chump would believe that. A chump would believe that. A sucker would believe that. You get a woman who's not even in shape. She doesn't seem like she's cooperative. She made you compete for her while she dated and hooked up with other men. He might have tasted another man's sperm on his breath. She might have sucked somebody off, then kissed him. That's how bad it is. Okay? Anyway, I like this girl. This girl, and look at her. She's more feminine looking, right? More attractive. Okay? I don't see a nose ring. Maybe she has one. I don't see one. Okay? But look at her prescription about dating. I think this is a really good prescription. Take a look.
Let men solve your problems, okay? As someone who was raised to not expect things, not ask for things, be independent, handle your shit, right? In the dating world, it's kind of messed me up, and I have to retrain my brain, because real men are problem solvers. They want to help you out. They want to solve your problems, and when you reject that, they feel personally offended. they feel rejected. They feel like their masculinity is like not taken seriously. Like, damn, I want to solve your problems and you're not letting me. Like, either you got somebody else doing that for you already, or you just don't like me enough, or, you know, those are the type of things that go through their minds. Whole time we really just have genuine intentions and like are so independent that it's like, no, like, it's okay. Like, no, just say yes. All you gotta do is say yes. All you gotta do is say yes. They'll love it. They'll love it. And we will too. Because who don't want to be helped? At the end of the day, we all want to be helped. I think it's just our brains that get in the way. Or maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. I'm working on it. But it really is a process of like unlearning shit. Like, no, you're tripping.
It really is a process of unlearning shit. Shout out to the chocolate princess. I didn't think she was chocolate. Maybe she is chocolate. Maybe she's biracial or something. I don't know what she is.
As someone who
you know.
Raised to...
Hold on. I want to show. Ooh.
Put me in a bikini.
Ooh. It'd be the most feminine women that look like this. It'd be the most feminine women that look like this. Bro, just imagine that, right? She said everything she learned messed her up. It messed her up for dating. And now she wants men to solve her problem. Man, wouldn't you, yo, please let me know in the comments if you want chocolate, if you would love to solve Chocolate Princess's problems. If you would love to solve her problems and not the butch chick before, who problems would you rather solve? Her epic Capricorn persona, right? Or this girl's problems? A feminine girl, beautiful chocolate girl. This is what I'm talking about, guys. Ladies, you got to understand that this is your competition out here. And she said everything she learned about being independent messed her up in dating, bro. Bro, I'm telling you, like, this girl don't got to worry about AI. She don't got to worry about AI, yo. You know what I'm saying? And here's the thing that I want women to understand. A lot of women think that, oh yeah, my husband. And she's talking about a man that her imaginary husband. She always assumed there's going to be a special guy out there for her. A special guy out there. He would only fit with her. They're soulmates. To me, I think that's bullshit. I think it's more like, you know, dating's more like jobs, right? You want to qualify for as many jobs as possible, many high quality, valuable jobs as possible. You don't want to be, oh, there's only one job I could appeal to. I don't know if it could be somewhere in Wyoming. You know, I got to go out there and I'm perfect for that job. No, you want to be appealing to multiple employers. Just like this woman, she appeals to multiple men. Black men, white men, Asian men, all types of men she appeals to because of her femininity, her beauty, how she's carrying herself. Chocolate princess. Jesus Christ. Jesus. I don't even got to say no more, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, AI, the recession, the government shutdown, all these things are challenging the way we live nowadays. It's going to challenge our lives, the way we earn money, and the decisions we make. And I think we're going to have the great massive reset. We are. We're definitely heading into recession during the holidays. We don't know when the government's going to open back up or not. We don't know if people are going to get back pay or not. But one thing I do know is that if we work together, we could be all right. We could be all right. Anyway, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Channel blowing up. I appreciate you guys. Check out some of my other videos. And I'll see y'all over there.